Today in the studio, we've got two special things. We've got the Goodyear Silent Track, and we also have Dennis from Goodyear. Hey!
G'day guys, how are we? Jared,
Thanks
glad
for coming
to be
in.
here, mate.
I saw this tyre come out in 2019. I thought it was a really interesting tyre that you guys rolled out.
Yeah.
What's the key details about the Silent Track?
So one of the key features here is that in terms of a reliable off-road, but still taking you to your off-road destinations.
Yep.
Most of the time you go on highway, right? You want something smooth, you want something quiet, and this is the tyre for it.
Yeah. So
right?
we're big on being honest with ourselves here at
Yep.
Tyre Review, and honestly, most of us use our tyres on the road for probably 95, 96, 97% of the time.
That's right, yeah.
And so for that 3% of the time, if it's like gravel roads, some a little bit more aggressive sort of four-wheel driving, this is the tyre.
Yep. So taking this from your usual highway tyre you get for your SUV, this gives you the bigger blocks from your ribs here,
Yeah.
right? But it's still not big enough compared to your all-terrain or rugged terrain or mud terrain, right? So when you, for example, if you're a tradie, right, you drive to your site, takes you an hour to get there on bitumen, you get to the site, there's some dirt road, this will take you there, right? Or vice versa, on a weekend, you go on the fire trail, something more beginner or intermediate, then this will
This
take
is the
you
one
there.
for you, yeah. So, and it says Silent Track on the brand. Is it actually silent?
Yes.
It is
yes.
silent.
So, this is one of the reasons why, in terms of how the tread blocks are designed, it does reduce the noise. And from a noise level point of view, and where it redirects the sound, it's going outside as opposed to going back into the cabin of the vehicle.
Yeah, cool. So maybe let's take a quick look at the tread pattern.
Yep.
So if we rotate it so we can see you guys down the barrel there. It's really interesting because you can see you've got these two consistent shoulders. This is not an asymmetric tyre, this is a symmetric tyre,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
So you've got two consistent shoulders here, which means the noise isn't going to come out the tread pattern, which you'll see in some other more aggressive tyres.
Yep.
What other functionality have we got in here that's going to help stop that, or keep that noise within the tread pattern?
Yeah. So there's a feature for something we have, which is DuraWall technology.
DuraWall?
Yeah, DuraWall.
DuraWall.
It is. You're going to hear it of Dura.
Dura. Oh, you really?
Yeah, you will today.
It's a bit of a thing, is it?
From a regular family point of view, yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. Not Dura or anything else.
Yeah, correct. So from a shoulder wall to the side wall, and that's where the DuraWall technology comes up to play, is it keeps this more rigid.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
So is it like an extra sort of a
Correct.
cap or something like
Yeah.
that goes on?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And from a smoothness and also quietness on the highway,
Yeah.
this is what's doing it for you,
Yeah, cool.
right? Then you've got your tread.
That's the only thing that's doing it for me. Sorry. I'll stop.
Yeah. Maybe this is a tyre for you, mate.
Oh, you never know.
All
I've been
right.
looking.
All right, let's get back
Focus.
on track. All right,
Dennis,
let's-
stop distracting me.
Sure. All right.
All right, what else
So
have we
we've
got?
gone from the shoulder wall, right, to the side wall. Now we get to the center part of the tread,
Yeah.
right? And you can see where the tread blocks are closer to each other,
Yes.
and that's where you get the differences from your all-terrain off-road bias to a highway more
Yeah, so you've got your more
bitumen
tightly
road.
packed centre blocks here
Correct.
that are actually going to carry the brunt of the load.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep.
That's cool. But
So-
we still have pretty good voids going through here. We've got this sort of, I don't know what they call it, it's a variegated channel or whatever.
Well, depending on how you want to call it, but in terms of your angled blocks, and that's another thing I'm going to be saying a lot today is your angled
blocks. Awesome.
and tie bars. Maybe we
Dura
should
angle
do it, yeah.
blocks.
No, Dura. You could be onto something for that one. Right, so angle blocks
Yep.
and tie bars.
Yes.
Right. These blocks have tie bars, and the tie bars are the ones that connect.
Yeah, so if you can see
These
that down
ones
in
here.
there.
Yeah, that's the
Each
one.
of these blocks have a tie bar,
Yeah.
and each of these
Yep.
blocks have a tie bar. So
Yep.
they're all kind of locked together.
It does. So when you're on your highway road, this stays
Yep.
pretty stable.
Yeah,
right?
cool.
You don't get that feeling.
Yes.
Right? And on top of that, with a highway bias pattern, then you're going to get the mileage for it too.
Yep.
Right. So again, it goes back to what we were saying earlier: is that what are we using our tyres for? Right. So 80%, 90% of the time, we're going to be on the bitumen.
Yep.
And then when you need to go off road, this will take you there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it'd be a pretty compliant carcass as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Given that it's, I assume it's a 2-ply, it's definitely not a 3-ply.
2-ply,
It's a 2-ply tyre, and so because the compliant carcass is going to give us more comfort as well.
Yeah, so it is a passenger rating.
Yep.
You don't have the heavy load rating that you would get from all-terrain or mud terrain.
Yep.
So with that said though, when you are going away and you're setting up your trip, weight's a big factor these days, right? And everyone's weight conscious, right? Including me. Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. That's right. We've got to look out for each other.
On top of that, you know, you've got your family, you've got your
say
drawers
that?
in
No.
the back. No, I'm not saying your family's, you know.
Anyway,
But I'm talking about the overall.
so the tyre, yes. Oh, sorry, the car.
That's
yes.
a separate discussion.
My car is also
in
fat,
terms
so-
of GCM, GVM, maybe.
Yes.
Who knows?
That's right. Okay.
But that's the weight I'm talking about,
Yes.
right? Is if you want to stay below that limit, then this is something to consider as well.
Yeah. No rim protector.
No, not in this pattern.
Yep.
But you know, when I have taken this tyre off-road historically, you know, through the high country.
Yep.
And this was sort of beginner, intermediate tracks. You know, there's still some rock steps there.
Yep.
It just comes down to your tyre pressure management.
Yep.
Right. You get the right tyre pressure, regardless if it's a passenger load rating or a light truck load rating. Depending on the conditions in your vehicle, if you get your tyre pressure right,
Yep.
then this tyre should take you to where you want to go to.
That's right, because we tend to over-engineer in terms of the tyres that we buy. Like we might buy 3-ply tyres when we only need 2 pliers, but we might buy a more aggressive tread pattern when we actually don't need that sort of aggressive tread pattern if we're really honest with ourselves about what we actually need in life.
Correct. Yeah. You know, I have a mate of mine who's taken this from Melbourne to Perth to Melbourne.
Yep.
And, you know, along the ways they've taken some dirt roads, sand driving. This has held up. Right? That was about 7,000 round trip.
That's awesome.
Right. So, and all he said was, you know, it's quiet. And when I went on the beach, just tyre pressures, get it
Yes.
right.
Oh, that's a good point. It actually will be a really good tyre on the beach as well because it's going to float with the right tyre pressures again. It's going to float above the sand because it's got that compliant carcass and also a pretty consistent tread face.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, with a lot of the OE tyres that come with your SUVs, when it comes to sand driving, very capable.
Yes.
And I've done it with my car.
Yep.
When I had the OE tyres on them, air them down, get them right, and it's fine. So it could even say, some say, it'll perform better in a mud terrain.
So Dennis, how many mil of tread depth does this tyre have?
Firstly, when it comes to the difference from an OE to this, you're talking about 1 mil.
Yeah, so you get an extra mil by going for this rather than
so you're
an
getting
OE tyre.
about 10 mil on this,
Yeah.
right?
So it'd be fair to so 10 mil. So it'd be fair to say that this is a reasonable replacement for an OE tyre if somebody's looking for a tyre that perhaps performs similarly to an OE tyre but has a bit more capability.
That's right, and that's where the differences go from a tread block thickness and width as well, right?
Yep.
So, and you know, you're looking at moving away from your OE fitment to this is probably the next best thing.
Yep.
If you're, you know, again, what's your driving like? Is it more bitumen, high pressure management? So this is your next step up, I would say.
Awesome. All right. I think we can leave it there. Thanks very much for talking about the Silent Track with us, Dennis.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.